everyone, I'm Heather Briggs of My So Quilty Life. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. Today I've got a fun video planned for you and I'm excited to dive in. Today I will be talking about this right here. So this magazine is the American Patchwork and Quilting magazine. It is currently on newsstands now and this magazine is awesome. So this year is American Patchwork and Quilting's 30th year. So they have been releasing these wonderful magazines for over 30 years. So I'm excited to talk about this today, but more specifically, we're going to be talking about the cover quilt. Isn't it beautiful? This cover quilt is by Lissa. I know all of you probably know her. She is the marketing director of Moda. She is also the queen of scrap quilts in my eyes. She makes the most beautiful scrap quilts. As well as you can find her at Moda Lissa on Instagram. So you might be wondering why I'm even talking about this other than this issue is amazing. Well, Lissa and the wonderful staff of All People Quilt, you can find them at allpeoplequilt.com or on Instagram and Facebook at All People Quilt. They are actually doing a quilt along with this quilt. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So like I said, I love Lissa's quilts. Her quilts are so beautiful and they just speak to me. And the second I saw this quilt on Instagram, before I even knew it was Lissa's or before I even knew it belonged to this issue, I could tell Lissa had done it. Like just the way she designs quilts, the way she uses her colors, just absolutely stunning. I knew it was Lissa's and then I scrolled down to look and it was. So I was so excited. So I was excited to learn that they are actually doing a quilt along with this quilt starting soon, starting February 20th. February 20th is when we gather all of our fabric. You can find more about the schedule at allpeoplequilt.com or it is in this issue. So make sure you get it and so you can follow along with the quilt along. It is going to be so much fun. So you can turn to page, let's see, in the magazine, it is page 30 is where you can find this beautiful quilt and as well as the schedule for the quilt along. So I will read it to you really quickly. It is from February 20th to April 16th. Each week you're going to make 2 or 3 of the blocks. There are 13 different types of 9-inch finished blocks. And each of them are so fun and they use so many different types of scraps. I know you have a ton of scraps lying around your sewing room, so this is the perfect time to use them. I went ahead and made a block because I couldn't wait, and block A or block 1 is using pinks and reds, and those are my absolute favorite colors to use in a quilt. So I will show you my block A. It is so cute. I use a mixture of Sherry and Chelsea with some fig tree prints, and then I believe, no, that's fig tree. So here is my first block. I am so excited to make more. In the magazine, it'll tell you how many of which blocks you need to make, which blocks to make, and then also the instructions. So be sure to check that out. I'm not sure I mentioned the name. It is called Scrappy Celebration, and that it is. This quilt is truly a Scrappy celebration. It shows off all of your favorite scrap prints. Again, you can find this in the American Patchwork and Quilting, the current issue out there on newsstands now, and starting on page 30, you will find the instructions and everything you need in order to make this quilt. This issue is also wonderful because it's like a blast from the past of 30 years of beautiful quilt designs. And it has the designers like Lissa and showing their past quilts that they also had in American Patchwork and Quilting throughout the last 30 years. So I thought this was a lot of fun. So I am actually a huge fan of Lissa's quilts, her books. She writes the most beautiful books. So I have a couple here. One of her most current ones is this one with Susan Aki. It is called 2 of a Kind Quilts. This goes wonderfully in how they pick the fabrics, kind of showing you their thought process, which ones they picked and which ones they picked out and for the quilt, so it made the perfect scrap quilt. And I was in Jacksonville, Florida a couple of weeks ago, and I went to a quilt shop called Cinnamon's Quilt Shop. And it's a frequent shop that Susan Aki goes to, and actually there were several of her quilts from this book that I got to see. I'll try to pop up a picture so you can see them too, but they were so beautiful, even more beautiful in person, and the piecing, oh my goodness, beautiful. The scraps that she used were beautiful. So if you haven't checked this book out, you really need to. This is a fun scrapbook. Another couple of scrapbooks that I have would be Sisterhood of Scraps. That's another good one. And then Scrap School. I also have her book called Oh Scrap, but I have that one digitally. And I've actually made one of the quilts from the book. So I thought I would show you just because we're talking all about the fabulous Lissa Alexander. So this was, I think, also in American Patchwork and Quilting by another name, but in her book called Oh Scrap, this is the surrounded quilt. I made this a couple years ago. I just need to get it quilted, but I have it on, I have a little quilt ladder over here in my studio and it hangs on it. I love this quilt. I used all pinks and like a, not a true red, but almost like a dark pink. So here's my quilt, if you can see that. I used a ton of different scraps from my scrap bin and it turned out beautiful. I did 9 blocks. I think the pattern calls for 12 or 25, but I just ran out of those low volumes that you need for the background. So I decided to make mine smaller. So I'm really excited to get this quilt quilted. Okay, so I really hope you join along in the Scrappy Celebration Quilt-along. Again, it does start by gathering your fabrics on February 20th, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to show you my progress throughout the next couple months. So be sure to follow along. I will post each month my progress so you can see as well. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on other videos I do. Also, feel free to leave a comment below just letting me know if you're going to participate in the So Scrappy Quilt-along. I will link everything below where you can find this magazine as well as some other books by Lissa Alexander and her so you can get to know her on Instagram. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye guys!